Happy Thanksgiving. I thought I'd throw this out here just because we live in a country that I can, at a time in history and in life that everyone has their opinion and throws it out there. And it just kind of dawned on me. I did a video earlier and I was going to post it, but it was one of the ones while I'm driving, commute. But I thought I'd consolidate it down, and then we'll see if I can keep it under 10 minutes. We'll see. But what it was touching. I was being thankful for living in a country that we have the freedom to choose things. Elections is where I was going to run with on this. And more importantly, then I started thinking about my criteria that I use to, as I've gotten older and gotten a little bit more wiser about choosing candidates, that if you're talking about leaving things for your children, you've got to get outside of your own box when you decide to choose candidates. And I kind of pinpointed down on 4 points. And these 4 points being deciding factors when you look at candidates. And necessarily by the time you get down to the 4th point, the candidate that you may automatically feel connected with may not be the one that you want to choose. And so you got to kind of, go through that struggle to see if that's what you want to do. I mean, because realistically, it's for the betterment of our country. When choosing a candidate, first point that I was bringing up was, is a person a leader? Not someone who just can talk the talk, but someone that has had that experience and well-rounded. If it has to deal with military and stuff like that, issues, they don't necessarily have to have been in there, but it helps. Kind of thing. So they got to be well-rounded about things. And willing to take charge and take notice of things and be able to make decisions based on experience and based on the people around them. The second point is they got to be able to work well with those around them. They have to be able to make those choices, like when doing their cabinet. It may not necessarily be on the same side, political standing, but that they choose somebody that they can work with well, be able to delegate authority. They can be a leader, but they damn well have to be able to delegate authority. They can't run the whole show themselves. There's no possible way. And so they got to be humble enough to be able to delegate the authority of certain jobs out to people. And in making those decisions, that takes a very wise person to be able to do. And so they got to work well with others, play well with others. The third point is they have to have the knowledge of our country. They've got to know not only the foreign affairs that's going on out there, but they have to have a pretty good solid grasp of the domestic affairs. Once again, they're going to have to delegate authorities. You got 50 states that they got to worry about, plus territories. So they have to have that knowledge that what may happen in may go in, say, Florida, doesn't go well in Alaska. Things in California and Hawaii don't exactly mesh in Maine. Okay? There's a big difference between the people in the Midwest and the people on either seaboard, just like there's big differences between seaboards. And they've got to be able to wrap their head around that and understand, and knowing that actually is something experience teaches you. It's something that living and being around the right people and growing up teaches you. And having traveled a little bit, a lot of it, teaches you. Which brings me to the fourth point. The fourth point being, how do they relate to me? And I mean me personally, but I also mean me, in the sense of how do they relate to the common American out there? I need to have the sense or the understanding and the satisfaction knowing that whoever I choose has lived that life, has lived growing up in America somewhere on that level. Okay? The last person I went to see in an office, holding the office of the President of the United States, is somebody who has never lived in a neighborhood. They could have grown up on a farm. I don't care. And their neighbor could have been, the nearest neighbor could have been a mile away. That's fine. They grew up that way. They're a little bit more humble. As long as they weren't silver spooned, and I always say it that way, they can't have just lived in a mansion. I would have a hard time with having somebody who has just grown up in Beverly Hills and never, and lived such a cultured lifestyle that they don't know what the average person can go through. Okay? Or in the case of what's happened, someone who has been grew up extremely rich. I shy away from that a little bit, unless they have some other kind of knowledge about it. But they don't understand what the common American goes through. I'm telling you right now, they don't. Okay? If I was to have a candidate go, I understand your feel your pain, and they grew up of that, they've been silver spooned and they've never had that kind of thing, I would be going, you're a total bullshit. You have not a clue what it means to walk in those shoes. And so don't tell me that you've ever understood that. And the reason why I say this is because we run into this problem right now. And it rubbed me raw the last election, and I will kind of go on this Trump thing. He does not understand the common person because he's never walked in those shoes at all. And so for somebody of that nature to turn around and say that they have that sense of commonhood with me, I get where I'd shake my head and just go, no, you don't. They've got to have that sense, even to my satisfaction, but they've got to be able to relate, plain and simple. If they've never lived outside of some mansion, they can't relate to a person who's even grown up in a trailer park, let alone a person who just grew up in a regular residential neighborhood, and went through public schools. So I just throw this out there because when people are looking at age factors and stuff like that, yes, you can look at things like that. But there's a lot more to it than that. And that is, knowing that criteria makes a well-rounded person that is going to be running for president of the highest seat in the land of our United States. And so I just throw this out there. This is how I pick mine. And it may not be the person, once again, that I originally am drawn to just at the beginning. But I guarantee you, if I do that, and they've got a common knowledge of the United States and everything under those 4 points, I can at least be satisfied that I did pick the right person when I go to the ballot box, when I put in my ballot. There's my little rant for Thanksgiving, because I am very thankful that I still live in a country where at least we have the freedom to do this. And may God help us on all this, whether you're a believer or not. I am, and I still believe in that factor. I don't believe he wants to run the show. I believe that he governs over people. Everyone. So in God we trust. And happy Thanksgiving once again. Nothing but love.